Hi, my name is Carol Vercellino, and I'm the CEO of Oak City Labs. And today I'm going to talk to you about some of the challenges and opportunities that we're seeing in the market around COVID-19 and the coronavirus, and what's happening not only just in healthcare, but other markets as well. And the things I'm going to talk about could apply to a healthcare company, but it also may apply to other companies beyond healthcare, whether that's within life sciences or engineering, or even beyond that. A friend of mine likes the saying that challenges beget opportunities, and I do think that is a possibility for a lot of you, and we're seeing that with several of our clients, that some of these things that are incredibly challenging are also an excellent opportunity for them as well. And so some of those themes that we're seeing, and I think these have always been in the space in different markets like healthcare and life sciences, but even more so now, are more important than ever. And those kind of themes are around efficiency, accuracy, safety, and security. And you're like, well, we talk about those things all the time, but what has happened is COVID-19 has accelerated progress in a lot of these areas. And it's not just in healthcare, it could be supply chain and logistics. And so, at first I'm going to talk a little bit about challenges, just because it's the elephant in the room. I think we're all dealing with them. What do we do with our teams? What about our employees? How are they handling this? How is their well-being? How is their mental health? How do I maintain cash? And so a lot of you are going through those things. And, if you're going through furloughs or layoffs, or you're having to do some of those really difficult decisions, think about maybe opportunities for those employees that maybe you had not thought about before. I've been in situations where we've gone through layoffs, not at Oak City Labs, but at other companies where I was an engineering manager. And one thing that you can do is, if you're well connected in a particular market, maybe talk to your friends and say, hey, I know some folks that are coming on the market, or they're already on the market. I see LinkedIn posts nowadays with those, but there's nothing quite like that personal contact with a friend of yours in your network, where you can say, hey, I know these people. Can you maybe take a look at their resume, or just have a video call with them right now? And I think that is it's a positive thing that you can do in a very, very tough situation. The other thing is, looking at cash. You're probably all hearing that right now. Look at cash. Cash is king right now. What are ways that you can pivot, restructure things in order to maintain cash? One of our clients and entrepreneurs, who's an amazing human being, when this started, he said, I've got to look at surviving to fight another day. And I love that. And I love that about him. And it's so very true right now. Yes, we are in survival mode, but I like focusing on the fight to live another day part. We're not giving up. You're not giving up. Your employees are not giving up. Your teammates are not giving up. So what can you do to fight for another day? And so a lot of that may come down to conserving cash, or maybe there are expenses that you don't really need, and sitting down and looking at those in a detailed manner. And so, since we all are very aware of the challenges, I'm going to talk about the fun part, which is kind of the opportunities that are out there. And so I've learned that sometimes you just need to reframe things for your business. And so, reframing might be like, Uber, where they're shifting some of their driving towards food delivery. That's an easy one. But I'm going to talk about some of the markets where maybe you didn't think about being in that market before, but maybe there's an opportunity for that. So let's say maybe you have some sort of technology in the medical space, and you actually need to get access to the patients, but right now you can't get access to those patients. Can you use existing technology today, or technology that you need to build some sort of remote health monitoring sensor, and then train and teach and provide a service to people who would then maybe either go into those scenarios, or maybe teach nurses on site who can then install or help with remote health and monitoring. But so some of the markets that we are seeing kind of an increase in business, maybe around shipping and logistics, like that's a big deal. And that's not just Amazon getting consumer goods. That could be agriculture, like how are the farmers getting an overabundance of things off the fields and sent to someone else? Is there an opportunity for you, if you are in that food and food distribution space, to figure out a unique way to get a surplus of crops to people that maybe can't get it at the grocery store because there is a shortage. So there's an opportunity there in shipping and logistics, not just, like I said, not just within getting your stuff from Amazon. Fraud and security, the more online we go with things, there's opportunities around not only like fraud detection, but also how secure are your systems and your infrastructure. And lots of opportunity there. That was a space that was already growing before this and is needed now more than ever. FinTech. If any of you went through the process for the Paycheck Protection Program, there is tremendous opportunity in finance to make applying for a loan and servicing a loan so much better than it is today. Also, remote monitoring, we spoke about just a little bit. Telehealth, obviously a big one. Communication tools for teams. So there is a big opportunity there. Yes, there have been tools out there, but there's a need for integrations right now. So how could you integrate your product into existing team communication lines that are out there? And that's not just for technology teams, but you're seeing communication needed digitally for teams in all sorts of different industries that are now working remote that weren't working remote before. Also, there's also a trend in employee health and well-being. One of our clients is in that space and in their particular market, and there is so much of a need for how do we keep a positive environment and atmosphere for our teammates and our employees. So there's tremendous opportunity there, especially as we come out of this and the economy picks back up. People will want to better monitor those things and better help their employees remain healthy, especially if they stay in a remote working scenario. Two other areas which are a little more infrastructure heavy. So there has been, some people are pulling back a little bit in cloud infrastructure just as they're trying to conserve cash and reduce costs. But there is tremendous opportunity around automation because this just shows, you don't want folks going to a data center. You don't want teams of engineers working in a data center. And people are conserving cash. There's always opportunity for automation, particularly around infrastructure and making jobs that require a lot of code or a lot of interaction with servers, making those pipelines easier. And that kind of leads into data analytics and analysis. And this one's kind of near and dear to my heart. I don't know if you all have been slightly frustrated by the amount of differing models and numbers that are out there around coronavirus and what are the trends, how much testing is there, how many positive tests versus negative tests, how many hospitalizations are there, how many deaths. There is so much data everywhere, and there's tremendous opportunity to consolidate, aggregate data, and then analyze it, and then also looking at the accuracy of the models that are used to make predictions. And outside of healthcare, when we think about predictions, one of the most widely known markets for predictions is weather. We're getting ready to go into hurricane season in the state of North Carolina, and you want to talk about an industry that has tons and tons of models, and they're available for you to go look at. If you're kind of a data nerd, you can go to NOAA's website. But there's so many different models. When you talk about hurricane tracking, you've got the European model, and you have so many different ones to look at. How accurate are these models over time? And it's not only about accuracy, but efficiency for how you break down the data, how you clean the data, and then analyze it. And I think there's more opportunity than ever in helping people gain confidence and trust in the numbers and the models and the predictions that are out there. And then also opportunity around how you clean that data and how you efficiently get it to the scientists that may be breaking that data down. And then how efficient are they? How efficient is the user or the scientist when they are doing analytics around that data? So that is an excellent opportunity for some people who are in that space. And I think we see companies that might have been a traditional internet company or a traditional medical device company that are now becoming data analytics companies. And I think the companies that can be a data company, potentially also provide services, those are the companies that will get ahead. So finally, how do you've got all these opportunities in different markets. How do you translate your business into those markets? And I think one of the simplest but most effective ways is to sit down and do kind of an internal SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and looking at what resources do I have within my company, within our team, what makes you unique, and what do you bring to the table, maybe in the years you've been in business or further back in the background, or just looking at the individuals on your team. What do you uniquely bring to the table? And then I think something that people forget to do is, who do you know? Not only maybe you as the leader, the CEO, or the principal investigator on a project, who do you know that you can ask questions to? And it doesn't have to be super, complicated questions, but can I just have a conversation with somebody, and that maybe will lead to another conversation. So my challenge to you today is taking a look at the markets that are out there, maybe potential paths for your business, or continue the same path with your current product and your current business. This is a marathon, not a sprint for all of us. How can you look at all these things that you have, all of these resources that you already have, and see an opportunity, maybe see a different angle that you didn't see before, and also start one conversation with somebody that you haven't had a conversation with in a potential market area. That is the biggest blocker for most entrepreneurs and most people who are building a product, is they don't talk to anyone. And you've all heard that before. And as a team, we ran into that before as well. But those conversations are so critically important, especially right now. And what a better time to have that potential customer conversation than now, when people are totally okay getting on a video call, because it's some of the only human interaction that they're getting right now. So reach out. You'll be shocked at who is like, sure, I'll talk to you. I'll have a video call. And maybe in a future video, we'll talk more about how do you do those voice of the customer conversations. But look at your strengths, look at your opportunities, and have one conversation. And then just overall, where can you fit in the picture with efficiency, accuracy, safety, and security? So thank you so much for listening. We can't wait to see what problems that you solve.